If you lived in Northwest Arkansas and there was restrictions about the number of people that could come over to your house, and if they did, they should wear masks and stand 6 feet apart from each other. If you were a Duggar, what would you do? Invite 200 of your closest friends and family to spend the night with you, and no one wears masks. And then what? Pretend it never happened by not posting about it on social media. But your thirsty friends can't help themselves and post for you, and you get busted. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to have you here. We're back after a long weekend. We are going to be doing a couple rounds today with a variety of different stories. Did you know there's a new documentary out about Onision, the YouTuber that got interviewed by Chris Hansen, and that whole scandal that happened in the fall of 2019 and into early 2020? And literally everyone said that Chris Hansen sold the rights to Discovery and that it was like the worst thing ever. Well, that documentary actually dropped today on Discovery Plus, and I am watching it for you so you don't have to. So that will be our second round of the videos for today. And in the first installment, we're going to talk about that pesky little party that the Duggars had at their house in Northwest Arkansas, because over the last 24 hours, a guest of the party actually responded on my Instagram. What? Yeah, that actually happened, and he claims that everyone was wearing masks, even though no one actually wore a mask. But let's get into it. Before we do, give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you are interested in subscribing to my channel, make sure you subscribe down here and turn those notifications on so you know when I go live or new content loads. All right, so over the holiday season, we know that the Duggars were not abiding by the guidelines in the state of Arkansas. Now, the state of Arkansas does not have any specific restrictions that make it illegal to gather at all, but they do have guidelines that have been put into place by the health department. One specific requirement the state does have is that you wear a mask if you are in public. Now, it does exclude private residences. However, if you have a number of people in your home, more than 10, and you cannot maintain proper social distancing, they do say that you should be wearing masks inside a house. So in the Duggars world, when you host a party with 200 people, you might, allegedly, you might expect that some of them actually would wear masks, but they didn't, at least in the photos that were posted on Instagram. Now, on Instagram, there has been a very silent response by the Duggars. Not a single photo has been posted by the Duggar family. Not a single post has been shared by anyone connected to the Duggars. Now, here's the interesting thing. Everything that is dropped from the Duggars has actually been coming out from people that attended the party and not actually the Duggars. The Duggars are very notorious about sharing photos and making sure that everyone knows about the spectacular lives that they lead. But in this specific case, they literally did not post one photo, not one shred of evidence that they had this massive gathering at their home, which has led some fans to believe that they're trying to hide this from the general public and that perhaps they're trying to hide this from authorities in Arkansas. Now, again, like I said, there are no specific laws outside of the mask requirement in the state of Arkansas that I could find. So from a legal perspective, I don't know what kind of legal issues they might be able to receive outside of maybe a fine for not wearing a mask while having a social gathering. There's a spike going on in Northwest Arkansas with the virus, and people are spending a lot more time at home, but the Duggars do not seem to care about any of that. So they host this massive party. They have friends from all different states come in. They have friends come in from Tennessee. They have friends come in from Oklahoma. They have friends come in from Texas. There's people from all over coming to visit them and spend time with them during the holidays. Now, at this event, they're playing games, they are singing music, they are playing the piano, the kids are running around. In everything that I have found thus far, there is absolutely nothing that shows that this family was wearing masks or adhering to any sort of requirements of social distancing. Obviously, fans are upset because during last season, they made it seem like they were following protocols in terms of videotaping and filming and that they were making sure that they adhered to guidelines to keep everyone around them safe. They even did a family Zoom conference because they claimed that they could not be together as a family. Fans believe that the image portrayed by the Duggars is exactly opposite than what they're doing in real life. So on the show, they're actually, acting like they have masks. They are doing Zoom conferences because they are actually like, they can't be together. They want to keep everyone safe. They have videos of them. There's an episode where they actually talk about how they're making masks for people. And yet in the reality is that throughout this entire time, they've actually not been abiding by any of those rules. And so again, that reality and that fakery is being played out on social media, and people are mad. They're hosting gatherings consistently. They're doing their Monday night parties with their families. Many of the family members not living in the same household. And then this recent event really has people frustrated because literally 200 people were there. Well, that's what it looked like on camera. I have no idea how many actually were there, but it was a lot. So I found some photos because the Duggars were tagged by this individual who has a band and has this music page on Instagram. And that person shared a bunch of photos on Instagram that happened to be at the Duggars' home with the Duggars, and literally no one was wearing masks. So it was an event where all these people came from. This specific gentleman, I believe, comes from somewhere in the Midwest, traveling from out of state, not from Arkansas. Now, according to this gentleman, the events that happened in Northwest Arkansas was multi-days. And this is what he posted on Instagram. He said, "Happy New Year. Hope you have a blessed 2021 filled with new dreams and accomplished goals. Super fun few days at the extended New Year's Eve party in Arkansas." So when I saw that, I was like, extended New Year's party, meaning they were likely there for multiple days, meaning the Duggars likely hosted people for multiple days. Not uncommon if people are traveling from out of state to come and visit them that they would have multiple days. So I shared that status on my Instagram saying that the Duggars had an extended party, but then that gentleman saw that I made that comment and then he told me that I was lying. So he responded, so I put out this and I said, "Another photo of the Duggars New Year's. It seems many people stayed for a long weekend. There are still many people there and no one is wearing masks. The family has lied to TLC about being safe and is putting so many in danger." And this individual said, "That's a lie. I took those photos." And I asked him what was a lie and he didn't respond. And then in another comment, he said, "It was not several days, only several hours through the evening. I was there with my two brothers for several days." And he said, and so we asked him whether or not people were wearing masks. And he said that several people were wearing masks, even though there was no photos of anyone wearing masks. He said many wore masks. And I said, "Okay, but I didn't see any photos of anyone wearing masks." And he said, "Oh my goodness." And then he accused me of illegally sharing his photos, which is literally not true. And he wouldn't answer the question about masks, but then he did later say that he said, "I haven't been answering because I'm pretty sure whatever I say will be argued, but many had masks and yes, were tested." So he claimed that this whole event took place and people that were in attendance wore masks and were tested. Now, here's the thing. I did not see anyone wearing masks in any of the photos. So if there was people wearing masks, I didn't see them. And when the videos were taken, they weren't talking. So if people were wearing masks, they should have been visible, except there was literally no one wearing masks in any of the photos that were shared. And multiple accounts shared photos at this event, none of which had people wearing masks, all of which had people standing in very close proximity to each other, crammed in, stacked on top of each other, and definitely not adhering to social distancing. So, long story short, the Duggar insider claims that they were wearing masks and had been tested for COVID. Now, obviously, I have no idea if people were actually tested. That is his claim. When I asked another follow-up question, he did not respond. Now, the Duggars, again, have not said anything about this event at all on social media, which I find incredibly odd. The Duggars love to show off what they're doing on a daily basis. They love, specifically when they do fellowship, to let everyone know sort of the fellowship that they're doing. And then in this case, they've done nothing. That seems a little suspicious. So why aren't the Duggars posting anything about this party? And then why are the people that are responding now claiming that after posting photos of them wearing masks, they were wearing masks, and then also claiming that they had been tested? Again, no idea about the testing, but I for sure say that I didn't see anyone wearing masks. But again, who knows? Maybe they were wearing masks when cameras weren't rolling. I highly doubt it though. Anyways, so In the state of Arkansas, like I said, there's not a specific law that they would be necessarily arrested for. And so obviously some of you were like, oh, they should go to jail. And my comment section got really heated on Instagram. I will say that the one thing that most fans just want is that the Duggars, who are making a living off of TLC, and the general public have portrayed that they are taking this pandemic seriously, and then in the real world, they are not. Some fans want them canceled, let's just say. Like, there were people in my comments saying that TLC needs to cancel the show because the Duggars literally are not taking responsibility for anything in their lives and potentially putting people at risk, including the filming crews that come to their homes to film the show. If you're the film crew for the show, how do you make sense of what you're seeing here? If you have a family that is pretending like they're doing things online on the show, that they're doing things responsibly, but then online they are not, how do they really justify that the way that they're portraying them on the show is actually accurate? Or has it never really mattered to TLC that they be accurate? I highly doubt this is going to get the show canceled, and I highly doubt that the show would be cut off. It might cause filming to pause, but it doesn't appear that filming was happening anywhere for this event. And if filming did happen for this event, that's a huge problem for me because TLC put everyone at risk. But again, there's no reason to believe that cameras were there. And I would assume that with the strict protocols for filming in regards to reality television, that they were likely not there in attendance. But it is questionable about why the Duggars did not show this on social media. I think they just didn't want the public to know. Which begs the question, do you think the friends that showed the photos will now be on the outs with the Duggars, the same way that Jill Rodriguez was after she posted a photo of Ginger's wedding invitation? I think you might not be friends with them much longer. Sorry. You might be like Josh. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.